We had a mantra: just because it's a wasteland doesn't mean that people stop making beautiful things. The film was one extended chase over 3 days, so you needed a continuity of landscape. Everything was real vehicles, real people in a real desert smashing into each other. And something also seeps into the cast and crew when you're out there getting the dust in your eyes and every other place and the heat and that sort of natural wear and attrition that happens. That was there every day for a good 130 days.
Imagine Joe! He looked at me!
We've been waiting for this film for so long, and obviously it was such a long and difficult journey. Were those necessary difficulties to go through in order to achieve the film as it is now?
The film was greenlit 3 times and fell over twice. It gave us a chance to dig down deep into the backstory of just about everything, more than we would have done. And I think probably the biggest thing was the technology was getting more agile as we went. We had actually custom-built cameras that could fit inside the cabin of the vehicle. With the delay as a result of the rains in Australia, and we had to move over to Africa, we suddenly realized that post-conversion 3D is getting to such a high level now that you probably wouldn't be smart to shoot a movie like this native 3D. Too much can go wrong with the cameras.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Just even the war boys and their makeup and everything. I mean, were these images that were kind of in your head for 30 years, or were these new things that occurred?
And they basically riffed off what happened before. The aesthetic of the film is something that evolved, whether it was a prop, wardrobe, a weapon, a vehicle, a steering wheel, all had to have a backstory. Everything was basically found objects repurposed, even gestures that people made, the sign of the V8 and so on. As kind of crazy as some of the things were, they had to have a consistent logic. People often refer to the guitarist. He was perfectly logical to me because there's always, before amplified sound, there was always the music of war. So he was the equivalent of the drummer, the bugler, the bagpipe player, except he needed a lot of noise. And everything also had to have dual purpose, so obviously his guitar was also a flamethrower. There was method in the madness, you could say.
Maybe everybody comes out of this film talking about the revelation that is Charlize Theron. What was it about her that you decided to cast her?
She was the only person who I ever thought about in the role. I'd seen her work. I'd seen her ability to take on a character, to transform in her work, and I came to see in the making of the film that she's incredibly rigorous. You have to be very careful when you're doing this stuff, particularly in those fight sequences. There's a lot of trust between the actors and the stunt performers, and we'd get everything in a very early take.
Everyone's wanting to know about, the next Mad Max. Have you given any more thought to that? What is in store?
We've definitely given thought to it because with the long delays, we kept writing backstories. All I can say is the intention is to make other films. It's tough to go out into the wasteland again. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a green screen movie, but you know what it is? It's the stories insist on being made. There's a kind of demented pleasure in it.